listening to Sam in the Morning, only on LA Talk Radio.
Whoops. Forget the microphone. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today is Wednesday, June 16th. Welcome joining us live from LA. We have a beautiful day out there, as you might expect. Summer's coming. And we have a great guest in the studio today. I'm joined by Ian Guerin, who's been on the show before. Hi, Ian.
Hey, Sam. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Do you remember how long ago you were on the show? Did you look it up?
Yeah, it was almost 5 years ago. Almost
5 years ago. Wow. So it's before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic.
Wow.
Just a few months before the pandemic.
Just a few months?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. That's pretty cool. So you're visiting from out of town.
Yes.
Where do you live?
In Mexico.
Mexico
City.
Mexico City.
Yeah, well, the outskirts of Mexico City, but yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Is that where you were born?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And you have family there and everything?
Yeah, my family's there.
So what do you do there for a living?
Record music and sing and write songs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you make a living out of that? Does
Yeah.
that really?
It's
Wow, look at
been a few years since
Yeah.
I've done it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Pretty
Probably
cool.
since I was in your show.
Yeah?
It's really a full circle moment for me. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's really cool because I remember you very well. We're still friends on Facebook, so sometimes I see your posts and everything. So I remembered you when you contacted me this time,
Thank you.
and I know you enjoyed it last time, and I thought we'd invite you again. Which is cool. So you came to visit. Is that like a pleasure kind of trip or
I actually
business?
came for the Janet Jackson concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. When
Yeah.
is that on?
It was last Saturday.
Oh.
No, I believe not this Saturday. The
The one before.
Yeah,
Wow. Was it good?
it was amazing.
Wow.
I actually, at some point, I felt like I broke one of my lungs because I was screaming, and when you
Really?
scream so loud
Yeah.
that you can feel like your throat
Right.
closing
But
up.
nobody can hear you.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
so
so
I
loud.
just went over it. But you usually like stop screaming when it reaches that point, but
Right.
I screamed past that point, and then I heard my lung crack, and I was like, okay, I think I
Wow.
can't sing out no more.
Wow. Did you have anybody opening for her or
She had
anybody we
Nelly.
know? Oh, Nelly.
Nelly, yeah,
Okay, I remember that one.
yeah. He was really good,
Mhm.
but I wasn't at 100% pleased because I thought he was gonna sing "Just a Dream," and then he just didn't.
He didn't.
But he was great. Like
Yeah.
he warmed up the crowd, and everyone was having a great time.
Cool. And Janet Jackson is still at her best, would you
Yeah,
say? At her prime, huh?
yeah. I was telling my friends like because a friend of mine from the city came with me for the event,
Mm.
and it was me and Aldo, my friend from here,
Mhm.
and Patrick, which is my friend from the city.
Mhm.
And I was telling them, you see how you're supposed to look at 58 when you're not drinking, when you hadn't had a
There
glass
you
of
go.
wine in 50 years. That's how you look.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's probably in her late 50s, right?
Yeah, she just turned
58.
58.
Wow, she looks great.
Yeah, she looks great, and she had the braids. Like her look was the braids from Poetic Justice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
like she was rocking it. She had all new wardrobe because this tour actually happened for the first time last year.
Mhm.
So she kind of revamped it,
Mhm.
and then she changed the set list, and she
Mhm.
performed all of the album cuts that I like.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that the Rhythm Nation tour, or is that a different name?
No, she called it the Together Again tour, but she
Oh, I
had
see. She had
the
the other
Rhythm
one
Nation
before.
before. Yeah.
Right, right. You see, I'm kind of late on
Yeah.
these. But yeah, I don't really follow Janet Jackson, but I like her songs.
Yeah,
So I can see.
she's performing live now because she used to like
Right. She
um
took a break, right?
yeah, and she used to do half pre-recorded and half live vocals
Oh,
because of
really?
all the dancing that she did.
Right.
So there were this moments when she had to really pre-record, like the dance drill on "If" and
Right.
those
Right.
moments.
Uh-huh.
But because she's like kind of toned the dancing down, like one notch, she now sings out, and
Oh,
her voice
okay.
is like really in its prime. It's really beautiful,
Wow.
and she's got this really like slick tone, and she sings like
Yeah,
this really nice,
she talks like Michael pretty
yeah,
much, right?
yeah,
Like soft like that.
yeah, she said I got like 100 videos of that moment, and you can really hear because the speakers at the forum are so good,
Uh-huh.
and you can really appreciate in the video how smooth her voice is and how preserved it is.
Yeah.
So she gave us like a really great song, a really great show, 36 songs.
Wow.
Yeah, medleyed, but
Right, right. But that's hard work, huh?
yeah, yeah. The
That's
show never stops. Like, there's
yeah.
not one moment where you like get a moment of just silence and
Hmm.
dark.
Right.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It just runs all the way through.
Yeah.
So it was
Well, you must really
incredible.
like her. I mean, if you came all the way to town
Yeah, I
from
love her.
Mexico City just to see her,
I love her. Yeah, concert
Yeah.
wise, it's been a great year. I saw Madonna in April.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, where
and
did you
then
see her?
in Mexico City.
Oh, she came there?
Yeah,
Oh,
and yeah, she really gave a great show, and she was really
really?
emotional because it
And
was
she's in her 60s now.
yeah, she's 65, and
Yeah.
she the show is based on all her life stories, so she
Hmm.
stops and pauses. She does make uh like differently to Janet Jackson, she does take a lot of pauses to speak to the audience
Okay.
and tell her story, and
Right.
tell all these things that she hadn't said in all these years
Right.
about her beginnings, and so it's really cool. It was really emotional to
Really?
yeah,
Oh, nice.
it was awesome.
She sang all her songs, all her
Yeah,
hits
all
and
of her hits,
everything.
and she told for me, it was the stories with Madonna. It was incredible. Like,
Yeah, huh?
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like at the edge of my chair, like, wow, I can't believe she just said that.
I know. Did you ever see her book Sex?
No.
Yeah, she's written this a long time ago, and it's got pictures of her nude and stuff, and all kinds of pictures and stuff. I mean, it's not hardcore or anything, but it's pretty cool. You should check it out. It's from, God, from the 80s, maybe 90s. It
M-
had to be in the 80s. It was pretty much at the beginning of her career. And I remember it caused a lot of commotion. People are saying, wow, she's exposing her body and stuff. Some people loved it. But yeah, I remember that as well. And I mean, she's a big star. And she's like star material.
yeah,
She's got what it takes.
yeah,
And I don't know, but the way I mean, she doesn't look as hot as she used to, but she still looks good, right?
right,
At least
right.
from a distance in the
Yeah,
concert.
no, and she really like uh, you know, toned down all the things that she was doing,
Yeah.
and
No, it's just her face. I think she did work to her face,
yeah,
where
and
sometimes it's hard to recognize her.
yeah,
And I don't like when people do that, because she's pretty without it.
yeah. That's what people were chanting at the concert, that she really didn't need it, and you could tell that she stopped like using the filler. I think that that's not, I don't think that that's has anything to as much to do with Madonna as it has to do with the doctors
Yeah.
seeing Madonna. They'll start, inceptioning her like, oh, I see a crack near the
Right.
eye, and they'll start telling you stuff that maybe you weren't as aware of
That's
before.
true. That's true.
So, because
Right.
that's their business, they don't wanna go out of business with Madonna, they
Right.
want her to, she probably pays 4 times as much as we, would pay for a treatment, so,
Yeah.
you wanna keep her coming in, so
Right. Right. And there's just this fascination with youth. They all try to stay young and everything and do whatever it takes. And, I mean, I can understand that, especially when you're in the public eye and you're a celebrity. But when it ends up making you look worse than you did, then it's a waste. It's really a shame, that they make themselves look worse. Some I know some actors and actresses did like facelifts and things like that, where or the Botox or the lips or whatever, and they look worse than they did. So I don't know. People really have to be careful with that, and some people just age gracefully. It's like, hey, accept me. This is how old I am, and I mean, I'm 64, and I just look at myself as really lucky that I was lucky to reach this age, because some people don't,
Yeah.
so I don't think people should be ashamed in their age, they should take pride in the fact that, you're aging and, you're just a normal person.
I think sometimes it's not the people aging who are as aware of of it as the people around them. Like, it happens to me all the time. Like, maybe I'm feeling great because I started going to the gym. I always exercised at home, but I started going to the gym like a year and a half ago,
Hmm.
and I felt better than ever. I looked better than ever. My progress was incredible,
Really?
and
Wow.
and but people around you, they'll try to make you feel like, well, you're getting old. And it's like, why,
Yeah,
why have
shut
to say
up.
that? And
Yeah,
for the most part, it's people that don't even, look as good as you do at
yeah.
your age, and
That's true. And they're able to
so
criticize you and
yeah,
stuff.
and they'll start, like, do like ageism on you. Like, they'll
Right.
start practicing. I don't know how you say that, like,
Yeah.
practice ageism, or I don't know what the right way to say it is, but they'll
Uh-huh.
start inceptioning you with the fact that maybe your hair isn't as great, or your face isn't as great, or I'll have people come up to me and say, like, my hip hurts because, like, I hurt my elbow at the gym,
Mm.
and it's been like months with the injury,
Oh, no.
and and I'll have people come up to me and say, "Well, that's because of age," like, it's not because of age. It's because I was pulling all the weight of my body and I
Yeah.
wasn't warming up.
Yeah. How old
And
are you?
I'm timeless. I'm
You're in your 30s, right?
not
No?
quite, no.
Really? I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about ages, but come on. I mean, it's like,
Maybe not.
yeah.
People in the comments are gonna
No,
say,
but you
ah.
look very young. You
Thank
look
you,
very young. Yeah.
thank
I
you.
don't think you should worry about it at all, about getting old or anything. If people are saying that to you, they're projecting maybe their own
Yeah, their own
doubts and
insecurities.
yeah,
My sister
exactly.
tells me that all the time. Like, it's
Yeah,
99% of the time when people say those kinds of things, they're just projecting their insecurities onto you.
yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks, man. I hate when
Yeah.
people do that.
Yeah, because I think that, like, I see myself now, and, like, for example, with the pandemic, I don't feel like 5 do you feel like 5 years have gone by?
Yeah, it went by fast, but
Like,
we've been through a lot. I
yeah.
mean, we've been through a lot, but it seems like, yeah, 5 years is like not that long.
I feel like that reel from Instagram that says, "I feel like I've lived 5 different lives,"
Yeah, yeah,
and I feel so different than how I did 10 years ago, and I
yeah,
feel like this is the best part of my life because I'm completely centered, and I know, I I think that I'm at a point in my life where I know where my priorities are,
yeah,
and I don't focus on, suffering about love and all those things. Like, I value things that I didn't before. Like,
yeah,
for me, the most important thing is my family, and that they stay healthy, and that they're happy, and they're peaceful.
yeah,
I've understood that peace is the real happiness,
yeah,
not like excitement, because people, when you're like in your early 20s, you think, like, I wanna be adventurous and do all these things and live life so excitingly, and that's
uh-huh.
cool, but that's not happiness. Happiness is finding peace within your heart.
That's
So,
true. That's
and
true.
so that I think that that's a part of growing up, and so when people say that that's a bad thing, well, Cher says it's a bad thing. She says it sucks. And she said,
Yeah.
and Oprah was like, "But don't you think you get wiser?" Oh, F that.
Yeah, exactly. Let me stay young. No, it's true. I mean, it's because most of your life you felt young, and then suddenly you look at yourself, you're in your 60s, and you go, wait a minute, now I'm a senior citizen.
Well, I just saw an interview with Cher where she said that she's 78 now,
Uh-huh.
and someone asked her how it felt, and she said that it sucked, but then she said that she saw this lady
Hmm.
staring back at her in the mirror, and she didn't know who that was,
Really?
because
Yeah.
she sees herself in a different light. And I was
Right.
thinking about this a moment ago. you know, when people want you to fit your age, like exactly your age, don't dress that way, don't think that way.
Mm-hmm.
They don't allow you to stay young, and
That's
and
true.
there are people like you and I and her that we stay young forever. We're timeless because our attitude is
That's
fresh,
true, because inside you still feel like you're very young, It's not like
right?
you age inside, I mean, you become wiser and everything, but you don't feel like I don't feel like a senior citizen, but I am. I mean, what the hell, when you're young, people think of people in their 60s. They go, "Oh, they're old," but nobody knows I'm this age. I mean, my my brother-in-law, when like new in the family and stuff, he didn't know how old I was. Thought I was like 52. I'm like,
Right.
well, thank you. I
That's
mean, that's
yeah, you do
thank
look
you.
like 20 years younger
Thank
than your
you.
age
Thank
for
you. Yeah.
like, and
It's just I
for
have the
real.
white hair, but without it, I'd probably
But
look
you
even
rock it, and
younger.
you rock the t-shirt, and you feel like cool, and that is the vibe. Like, there are people in their 30s that look and feel older than you.
Yeah.
And I see this all the time. Like, there are people in their teens that say, "Oh, this hurts." It's like, what? It's. I think that's an attitude, and I just
That's
remember this
true.
friend of mine. She's younger than me, and I was coming out of the gym, and I was like, "Didn't you think it got kind of chilly? Like, it was hot before, the days before, but now it got kind of chilly." And
Uh-huh.
she was like, "I don't feel like it chilled out. Maybe that's because I'm young and I don't get cold enough."
What a thing to say, right?
But I think
Uh,
it's just an attitude, and you can be old at 20
right.
and you can be young at 80, and it doesn't matter. It's just all in
That's
your
true.
heart and in your mind.
That's true. Yeah. So, do you have any siblings, brothers, sisters?
My sister Mar,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah,
So, one sister, is she older, younger than you?
yeah, she's older.
Uh huh.
Yeah. We
Very
you ha
cool.
we she came to me to the show the last time.
Right. Except I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I remember you, but I don't remember your sister.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I wish you'd brought her this time.
She couldn't come. She's in Mexico because I think she's in a project now. She was
Oh,
directing
okay.
some kind of video for some
Oh,
festival.
really? So
Yeah.
she does entertainment as
Yeah.
well. Very cool. So you're a creative family.
Yeah, she actually did all of my videos. She directed
Really?
and she wrote all of the videos.
Uh huh.
and and so we worked together for a very, very, very long time.
Wow.
Like,
Very cool. Well, we'll listen to some of your songs in a minute. How well? How did you get into music? Is it something that you always loved and you decided I'm going to make a career out of it? How did it
I,
work for you?
to me, it just happened when I was very young. I when I said that line, I thought of Madonna. When I was very young, you know, I was
Yeah.
very young, and I remember I had a lot of imagination. I loved, I would see kids in my school playing with cars, and I'd say like, "Oh, how's that fun?" And
Right.
I'd just play in my mind, and with stuff that I found in my house, and I'd create characters, and so I always was a very, imaginative? Is that the word? I was
Yeah.
gonna say imaginational. Has like a
No,
kind
you're
of a
right.
ring to it.
Your English is perfect. I mean, it's very good
Thank
for
you.
someone that doesn't live in the States. I mean,
We
you
we we
speak
did live in
perfectly.
the States for a very brief period of time when I
Uh-huh.
was 7, because my
Okay.
mom, because of her job,
Mm-hmm.
her company sent her to work here, and we did go to school here, but we
Oh,
were very young. Maybe that's where I picked up the good English,
right,
and
right.
because I was like 7,
Yeah,
so I
when you're
wasn't.
young, it's easier, of
Yeah.
course. Of
And
course.
I
But
remember I was not very good at first. And kids, how it is, and
yeah,
they
they
would pick
tease
on me,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I remember I like had an extracurricular class with this Japanese friend of mine. His name was Akashi. I remember him perfectly,
Uh-huh.
and and they used to pick on him as well. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, they're never gonna pick on us again. We gotta focus on this. And so I think then, because of those circumstances and being the sensible man that I am, I
Mhm.
was like, I'm not gonna get picked at for this. So I just picked it up real well, and I have
Right.
a very good ear. So that really, really helped.
Right.
But we
Very
did,
good.
but we lived in New Jersey, not in LA.
in New Jersey.
Yeah.
What was that like? Did you like it there?
Yeah, I loved it.
Really?
Yeah, I loved
Yeah,
it.
people do say it's great in New
It
Jersey.
was
you know?
it was
It gets a
amazing.
bad rap, but it's a pretty good place.
It does have a bad rap.
It does, yeah.
Because as a kid, I didn't like venture out.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
lived in like this community,
Yeah,
and
they have nice communities and everything.
yeah,
but-
it was lovely.
yeah, yeah.
And they had this pool, and I remember when it was summer, the ice cream truck would come, and everybody would get out of the pool and just go to the. It was nice.
Wow,
So yeah,
very cool, nice. Um, oh well, I'm thinking of like we should play you songs. So let's see, because I'm curious to see what you've been up to lately. As far as your music and everything.
yeah, have a
So
new
we've got like 3 music videos for you guys, and let's see. So which one do you want to play first? We have
Oh,
a Child from Planet Earth. We have Corazon Bonito, and we have Class of 1,000 Stars.
we could do Class of 1,000 Stars first.
Okay, let's start first. Ian Guerin and Class of 1,000 Stars. Check it out.
Talk about ruining a good thing. I was always outside looking in, trying to be seen. Never quite fitting the mold, but never too late to disrupt the peace. Yeah, now look at me. I don't look back for the past is past. I elevate my mind to somewhere in life. I live my life like tonight's the last, with a class of 1,000 stars. Say I believe in myself. Say I believe in myself. Say I believe in myself like 1,000 stars. Work is the key. If you have faith, that is the answer. It don't take much, so let's enjoy it to feel happy. I'll give my all, I won't give her nothing at all. Cause first I'll give and I'll receive if I believe that it will happen. I don't look back for the past is past. I elevate my mind to somewhere in life. I live my life like tonight's the last, with a class of 1,000 stars. Say I believe in myself. Say I believe in myself. Say I believe in myself like 1,000 stars. Sometimes I'm feeling down, sometimes I'm feeling empty, but somehow I get around. Cause I look up in the mirror, see the glare, oh well, I'm too hot to stop for nobody. I'm too hot to stop for nobody. Cause I believe in even myself. I don't look back for the past is past. I elevate my mind to somewhere else nice. I live my life like tonight's the last, with a class of 1,000 stars. Okay, say I believe in myself. Say I believe in myself. Say I believe in myself like 1,000 stars. Like 1,000 stars. Like 1,000 stars. Like 1,000 stars.
There we go. Ian Guerin And the class of 1,000 stars, I believe. I believe in me.
Thank you.
Very good. So you wrote the song,
Yes.
the lyrics and the music.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
What do you play an instrument that you write your songs on?
No, no,
Really?
no. The way I did it is, well, I did a demo.
Uh-huh.
Like I did a little piano
But how?
demo, and
But how do you come up with the music? Just in your head?
yeah, with
Really?
I do a demo with some elements from basic recording programs, and I'll do little piano chords and stuff, and then I'll
Oh,
record the
cool.
demo, and then I have a head producer, co-producer for the album, which is Mir Bangoid, who's we've been working for like 10 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and so he does the final arrangement, and then we brought in a guitarist, which is a friend of mine,
Right.
and we start like building the elements. Like I like to say that I executively produce it because
Well, you do.
I bring all the people in, and
Yeah.
and then Ass is in charge of the musical production of all of
Right.
those elements,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, but the words are actually a cool story because I have a friend who's now passed. He initially was my father's friend, and he was 71 when he passed. And but we started making music together because he was the first one who told my father, when he heard my very first song in English, he told my father, "Why don't you send him to LA over to talk to this guy that he knew, which was a Grammy winner, because my my friend's dad was, he did all the music for Mexican movies in the golden era. So he knew this jazz player who was a Grammy winner, and
Mm-hmm.
his son who was an arranger and a composer. And
What
he
was his name?
the arranger?
Uh,
Brent Fisher.
okay.
Yeah, he doesn't he never likes me to say his name. Well, he did in the past, because he said, it's like, it takes away from you, but
No, I
he
mean,
helped.
but we need to give him credit. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
he helped you with your
he.
career.
I was very blessed to get to know him, like,
Hmm.
before coming to LA to drop my record off at the labels and stuff, because not many up and coming artists get the chance to have this very seasoned professional tell
That's
him,
true.
this and this and this is going to happen. And one of the things he said at first to me was, everyone's going to try to sign you and then ask you for money. And
Yeah.
the common denominator for them is you're not going to be a star if you're not with them. So,
Oh,
and that started happening to me
yeah.
when we were trying, to find people to help me launch my project here and stuff. And, so it was really a blessing to get to know him, and it was because of my friend. So, so my dad told me, "Why don't you do demos with Carlos?" And
Right.
he played the piano.
Uh-huh.
So he'd come over to my house, and it was this weird friendship because I was, like about to turn 20, and he came over to my house, and I had pianos, and he played the piano, and we recorded demos, and we submitted a demo for the World Cup, because there was
Hmm.
this contest for the World Cup that was going to be sung by Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin.
Really?
I don't know, Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin. Is they gonna say, yeah? There's this Mexican singer, Paulina Rubio, and she'd go like, "I like Pedro Infante," and they made a whole ton of memes for that.
Really?
Ricky Martin, niños. and I just did an Ariana Grande with the voice. Like I went off pitch and came back to this one, and we pitched the song, and we didn't get a call back. You know how it is. You know if you're in because they call you back, and you don't know if you're out because you never hear from them before.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
And we did that song called "I Believe," and
Mhm.
so we never used it again. And then when I was making this album, I said, I need, like, the missing piece is this mid-tempo kind of road trip kind of song that makes you feel good about yourself when you're, like, on your way to the beach on a road trip or to Vegas,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
one of those road trips where you hit the road and a very straight road, for hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need this mid-tempo song. And I started searching in my demos, and I said, "Yeah, I believe is." So I took some of the verses from that and redid the whole demo,
Hmm.
and then Class of 1,000 Stars came out.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Now, did you get someone to arrange it, or did you do it yourself? How did it work?
Ass arranged it for him.
Oh, I
Ass,
see.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He did the arrangement, and then a friend of mine who's a guitarist, Jorge, he did the guitars and all. It's a blessing to work with them because As knows me very well, so I'll just come up to him and say, we have to have this claps, and he'll pull out some claps and do you like the sound? Yeah, okay, and we'll
Uh-huh.
start building the song. So I don't necessarily play it,
Right.
but I bring the ideas to the studio to
Yeah, yeah.
build the song.
Very good. I mean, usually these things are a collaboration,
Yeah,
It's hard to do it all yourself,
yeah,
and you got to be open to bringing other people in to the project, and you got to share the credit, I mean,
right,
if you want it all to yourself, that's a lot of hard work, and also you're not giving yourself the opportunity to get other ideas, from people. Um, so I'm all for it, get people to help you out with things
right.
like that. Yeah.
Tony Bennett used to say, one mind doesn't have all the best ideas, and
That's
then
true.
Prince used to say, great things happen when you leave your ego at the door. So yeah, I'm all for that. I love collaborating and just I'll get inspired by just about anything, like
Yeah.
anything anyone says in the street or anything that I see. I'll come up with things and I'll just be laughing like, "Wow, this is so good," and 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 sometimes it's the smallest things that they just bring up the best in songs. And
Yeah.
for this album, I just wanted to talk about myself and my personal growth and what I was saying before about being at a time in my life when I know what matters and how I got there, because I know that there are people out there that are just trying to find that path. So when I was choosing like the topic of the album, like I was like, I'm not in love, so I'm not really kind of into writing a love album at the moment. I was at a point in my life when it didn't really matter.
Right.
So I remember seeing during the pandemic. I saw Kylie Minogue's
Hmm.
Glastonbury performance,
Okay.
and I remember, exercising at home
Hmm.
and just seeing her perform that show, and I was like, "Wow, this really feels great." I'd love if my new album, my next album, made people feel the way this video is making me feel.
Yeah.
And so I started, analyzing how it was put together and the way the songs were written. So it really made me evolve as a songwriter and as an artist. And I decided that the theme was going to be, evolving
Yeah.
as a human.
Yeah. So now this song was in English. Do you write in Spanish as well?
I didn't, but I do now.
Oh yeah. Okay. So is Corazon Bonito, is that in Spanish?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, let's listen to that. Sounds interesting to me. I love Spanish songs. So
I'm nervous about what you're gonna think because you've never
why?
heard me sing in Spanish. This
Yeah.
is going to be cool.
It's funny because when I sing in Hebrew, which is my mother tongue, I get embarrassed also, because I'm like, they're not gonna understand what I'm saying, but yeah, I mean, but you got to be confident, in what you do, and I'm sure it's gonna be a good song. So let's take a listen to this one from Ian Guerin.
Vamos a entregarnos el corazón bonito pa' pintar el cielo azul, azul clarito. Vamos a vibrar a nuestro propio ritmo. Vamos a criar juntos ese muchachito. Tengo miedo de perderte, tengo miedo a amanecer como todos esos años que no supe qué iba a hacer, que me vi en el espejo sin saber quién era yo, sin saber bien cómo haría para arreglar mi situación. Tengo miedo de dejarme ser y que me quieras bien. Miedo a que sea solo un sueño y el reloj me saque de él. Miedo de que seas quien yo siempre esperé. Miedo a que te pierda por no saberte querer. Vamos a entregarnos el corazón bonito, pa' pintar el cielo azul, azul clarito. Vamos a vibrar a nuestro propio ritmo, vamos a criar juntos ese muchachito. Vamos a entregarnos el corazón bonito, pa' pintar el cielo azul, azul clarito. Vamos a vibrar a nuestro propio ritmo, vamos a criar juntos ese muchachito.
Everybody turn up and everybody sway. You know that you've had days when everything is great, when you feel like you have trouble and an absolute disgrace, when even if you try hard you can't seem to find your place.
Now look at me, you got me smiling. Now look at me, you got me smiling, smiling.
You know
baby.
I can fake it just to prove myself to you, but then what's the point? True love is honest just like you.
Tengo miedo de perderte, tengo miedo a amanecer como todos esos años que no supe qué iba a ser. Que me vi en el espejo sin saber quién era yo, sin saber bien cómo haría para arreglar mi situación. Vamos a entregarnos el corazón bonito, pa' pintar el cielo azul, azul clarito. Vamos a vibrar a nuestro propio ritmo, vamos a criar juntos desde muchachito. Vamos a entregarnos el corazón bonito, pa' pintar el cielo azul, azul clarito. Vamos a vibrar a nuestro propio ritmo, vamos a criar juntos desde muchachito.
Tengo miedo de dejarme ser y que me quieras bien. Miedo que sea solo un sueño y el reloj me saque de él. Miedo de que seas quien yo siempre esperé. Miedo a que te pierda por no saberte querer.
Vamos a entregarnos el corazón bonito, pa' pintar el cielo azul, azul clarito. Vamos a vibrar a nuestro propio ritmo, vamos a criar juntos ese muchachito. Vamos a entregarnos el corazón bonito, pa' pintar el cielo azul, azul clarito. Vamos a vibrar a nuestro propio ritmo, vamos a criar juntos ese muchachito. Vamos a entregarnos el corazón bonito.
Wow. That's a cool song, man. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I didn't understand a word, but it sounds great. What does Corazon Bonito mean?
um, Beautiful heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I knew that Corazon is a heart. I don't know why I didn't. But yeah, that's good. So what's the song about?
It tells the story. People think that it's like sometimes they think that it's about telling the other person that that they have a beautiful heart, but the true way that I try to phrase it was that to tell that the other person that we should give our hearts to each other beautifully, like in the
Yeah.
most honest way, like
Yeah.
because when you say in Spanish like let's love each other the right way, or like yeah, the right way. There's you say vamos a querernos bonito, so
Yeah.
it's like let's give each other our hearts the good way, the right
Yeah.
way,
Right.
so let's love each other right.
Uh-huh.
That's what the title really stands for.
I see. Wow, that's pretty cool actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there's a meaning to it. I mean,
Yeah.
people say it to each other.
Yeah. And what the song is saying is that we should give our hearts to each other right,
Mhm.
and so that we can paint the sky blue, and we should vibrate at the same to the beat of the same drum.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
so that's like the main story, and then it goes about saying that that I'm scared of loving that way and giving my heart right because I'm scared to blow it because I've been alone for all this time, and and that I've been alone for a lot of time, but that I'm getting mixed up.
It's
But
okay.
that there's been nights that I don't want to feel like those nights when I didn't know what to do
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
out of my situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like kind of romantic, but it's not as deep as the previous album songs were,
I see.
which it was a full blown romance and longing, and
Yeah.
and
So you write about different things,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah, and that song, I was saying before that A Child from Planet Earth, the album is about personal growth and stuff, but I decided to include the song because it really happened, and I wasn't gonna record in Spanish, but kind of the situation forced me in because I was talking to this guy from Nigeria one night, and I get a lot of songs from independent artists, just as me,
Mm-hmm.
that that are just starting their career, and they'll listen to my music, and they'll come up to me and they'll say, "Can you listen to this? Can you listen to that?" And he was playing a ukulele,
Mm-hmm.
and he sent me he said I was just jamming to the ukulele, and this is what I recorded,
Uh-huh.
and it was like a 5 second sound and in a
Uh-huh.
voice note, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And like a few hours later, I was like, I just said the line in my mind
Uh-huh.
in Spanish, and I said, "Wow, that makes for a really great song." And I wrote the song like in 10 minutes, and I said, "Okay, I'll do a proper demo
Right.
uh, tomorrow, and if it sticks, then I'll just flow with it."
Right.
And I had recorded in Spanish, but I hadn't written the song because
Mm-hmm.
somebody else wrote it, and it was for a movie, which the director, he just wanted me to sing the song because I did a charity song with him and other artists, and he liked my tone and my pitch, and so he wanted me to sing the song. But I hadn't written that song, and I had done a few demos, and
Mm-hmm.
then I said, "Okay, if it flows, then it's gonna happen." And
Yeah.
I had followed this producer from Venezuela who does like Latin pop music and beats, and I always thought, wow, his beats are really great, and his name is Shot Records, and
Uh-huh.
that's his stage name.
Right.
And I said, if I ever do a song like the ones he's producing, I'll call him.
Yeah.
And so I always work with us because we have really great chemistry. But for this one, I said, it's great to venture out and
Yeah.
to have your head producer and then have some other people to bring another flavor.
Yeah.
So I just wrote to him, and it just really flowed. And I asked him a few questions about the copyright things. How is it going to work if you're there and I'm here, and all the
Yeah.
things. But we could sort it out, and I sent them a production email. It
Mm-hmm.
took me like 3.5 hours to write, with all the things and
Yeah.
sounds that,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
it's hard to translate that into words. But because I used to write for the press, I'm like
Mm-hmm.
good with writing. So I knew like how to express myself, and I sent him a few pictures and a few like samples of the sounds that I wanted. And then
Mm-hmm.
he turned back the production like 2 weeks later. And
Really?
yeah, the song
Wow.
was already written in the
Yeah. Yeah.
demo, but and it worked out great. And then I just figured I'd release it. And the cover is actually my cousin who did the cover for this
It's
one
beautiful.
and the album.
Yeah.
And she has a whole concept for the album. Like in the album, you can see one of my pets from my childhood there,
Mm-hmm.
and but in here, she's like, okay, if you're going to be like a machine on top of the earth
Mm-hmm.
when you're in the cover of the album, then we're gonna have the child walk through like this field underneath the water.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what like the child with the astronaut hat in the cover is.
I
and
see.
um and and so it really took off. Like I
Yeah.
started because I was very inspired at the time by like African beats and Amapiano. I don't know if you're familiar with Amapiano. Like
No, I'm not. I'm
it's kind
not.
of Tyla.
No, I don't.
She has the song Water.
Uh-huh.
Well,
No,
you
I
probably
don't.
heard the song.
Maybe.
And I was really into those kinds of beats because they sound really hopeful, and their voices are really beautiful.
Mm.
So I was like, I want like the tempo and like kind of the the drums of the song to sound like they have this very specific way of playing the drums. And
Mm.
I said, like, I want like those kinds of uh influences into the Latin beats, like
Right.
let's make a fusion of it.
Mm.
And uh and so it kind of took off, like, and I see the reports, from you know that they send you, and stations in Namibia would be picking it up, but they would also be picking it up in Dominican Republic, and so it started to take off, and
Yeah.
And so I did another song, which is the side B to Class of 1,000 Stars, which
Uh-huh.
you guys can go check out. It has a video out that my sister directed. It's called A la Primera, which is a second
Yeah.
Spanish song.
Okay. Sounds
And
good. I'm gonna check it out.
but Corazón Bonito has really taken off, and so I
Uh-huh.
decided to include it in the album. And it's really funny because not funny, but curious because if you hear the album in full, the A Child from Planet Earth album in full, you hear that Corazón Bonito goes after a jazz track.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, how am I gonna, like mix these two things up? And
Uh-huh.
I discovered that if I added like 30 milliseconds of silence to the jazz track in the end,
Mm-hmm.
from the additionally from the 2 seconds that you regularly have at the end of a song,
Right.
then it would create like this closure of the chords, like,
Right.
and then the chords from Corazón Bonito would come in, and it just mashed up perfectly.
Right.
So I said, okay, it's going in the album,
Uh-huh.
and it's been like a year since it's been released as a single, and it keeps on giving. And the other day, I was like reflecting on my socials about it, and I was like, I didn't trust my voice in Spanish. I wasn't sure that I wanted to do this, but now it's one of my favorite songs of mine,
Yeah.
and and so everybody started writing to me like, "You have to do another one." And I was like, "I have another one. It's a la primera, and it has a video, and it's really, really cool." We
Yeah.
actually have a video for Corazón Bonito, but we haven't released it yet.
Okay.
And it's been canned like for a while.
Yeah.
So and this
Well,
is
next time you come here, we'll play it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Now you have a reason to come back to LA.
awesome. And it really took off, and it keeps on giving. It's like free time, like the lead single from my past album.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps on giving. It's a song that people like over and over and over. So I'm now writing another one,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I'm not going to pressure myself into writing.
Yeah.
So, but I've come up with a few ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. It's been a great experience to just write that song and enjoy that song and have myself having had pushed myself into doing something that was outside of my comfort zone because you know that I'm more like R&B and pop and all that, but having explored the Latin pop and having enjoyed it, and I was like, why are you not doing it? Selena
Right.
Gomez is doing it and she's doing all right.
Yeah.
There Enrique Iglesias did it before and he did all right, and Ricky Martin did, and so
Right. Right. Wow. Very cool.
thank you.
Um, I wanted to play A Child from Planet Earth, but we're totally out of time. Maybe we'll play like a minute of it or something, okay?
Cool, super
Because you
cool.
really wanted to play it,
Yeah.
and we want to hear it. So, A Child from Planet Earth, we're going to listen to a couple minutes of that. So, here we go.
I've had big dreams and felt the stars since I was a small child. You left the sign to fall in line and follow who's in charge. I've had to fight to stay on track despite the many tries to talk me into doing what everyone thought was right. For what it's worth, I've paid my path. I've never been quote the usual. The more I answer, the more I doubt. I feel much wiser, but sometimes I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I'll be next. For what it's worth, I'm just a child from planet Earth. I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I'll be next. For what it's worth, I'm just a child from planet Earth. I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I'll be next. For what it's worth, I'm just a child from planet Earth. Everybody likes that song.
Very cool song. I'm glad we
Thank
played
you.
it. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Is that like a newer song? that you
Yeah,
wrote?
that's the title track from the new album.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you guys got to go and get it. Ian Guerin, and the song is well, I guess is that the title of the album?
Yeah.
A Child from Planet Earth. I love it. I love it. It's really
Thank
cool.
you.
You got like a really wide range, and so it's not like you hear one song and that's all you can do. There's a lot of different influences there and stuff. So Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you. I'm
Well,
gonna quote that.
I know. Well, there's so much more I wanted to, to ask you, but we're out of time. So tell people how they can find you on social media, listen to your music.
They can find me on social media at I am Ian Guerin, and Guerin is Guerin, and they can find my music anywhere it's streamed or sold.
Hmm.
Just typing Ian Guerin, and or just Google me, Ian Guerin. I'll just pop right up, and you can find all the songs there. You'll find the videos and everything.
Sounds
So
good.
remember, my last name is Guerin, Ian Guerin.
There you go. Ian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having
You're
me.
very
Sam.
entertaining and very good and very talented.
Thank you.
I enjoy listening to your music. Keep it up. I hope to see you in big lights and everything. And come to your concerts and all that stuff. So,
Thank you. I'd love to perform and write songs for other artists. The
Yeah,
world
I'm
is an
sure.
oyster.
Yeah, there you go. And you're so young. You still have so much time. So
Still young.
yeah. No, you are. You still have a lot of time and to really develop yourself and your music and and you're a professional. So
Thank you so much.
of course. All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening to us, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
You're listening to Sam in the Morning, only on LA Talk Radio.